Hey everyone, it's Alex, and I am back with another video right after I filmed my video about Alan Alda receiving the SAG Life Achievement Award at next year's Screen Actors Guild Awards. But I am here with my first official preview video for the 91st Academy Awards. Originally, my first video about that was going to be about the Best Popular Film category that was announced back in the summer and then but is being discontinued for now. But when I made that video, I was just rambling on and on to the point where even I wasn't satisfied with what I was saying, so I ultimately deleted that video, and I was going to make another one about it when the announcement came that the category was postponed for now. But that's not the focus of the video today. The focus of the video today is the first official short list of contenders for a certain category, and that is Best Foreign Language Film. Best Foreign Language Film contenders are usually the first ones announced for the categories that have short lists of contenders, and this year there are 87 films that will be competing in this category. It's a bit down from last year, because last year there were 92 films in contention, which was the all-time record. So there's a few less this year, but there are a couple of countries who have never competed in this category before, but are now competing for the very first time. So that's really exciting. Now, Best Foreign Language Film, of course, is a very unique category in how the nominees are chosen. And I've explained in my previous videos, but if you're new to my channel, Best Foreign Language Film is not necessarily chosen by just one branch. Typically, members of the Academy nominate films regarding their branches. Every member can nominate Best Picture, but actors nominate the acting categories, directors nominate the directing category, etc. So the peer groups decide their own nominations, but then the entire Academy can vote in the final round. However, with Best Foreign Language Film, there is no foreign language film branch of the Academy. So there's a Foreign Language Film Committee, which is made up of volunteers from all Academy branches, and these volunteers will take their time to watch as many of these movies as possible and come together and decide on the nominees. Now, each country can only submit one film for consideration, and there's usually a deadline with which they have to submit the film by, and this year it was October 1st, and that film has to have played in theaters in that country before it's submitted to the Academy. So if it's a made-for-TV movie, it doesn't count. But if it were to debut on a platform like Netflix and then also get a theatrical release, then it is eligible, as we'll see in the case of one of the films that I'll mention. So those are sent in, but when it comes to nominating the films themselves, you have the Phase 1 committee, which will break into several groups and watch certain movies, and then you have the executive committee. The Phase 1 committee will vote for their top 6 favorites, and the executive committee will pick their top 3, and therefore you'll get the short list of 9, and there's always a short list of 9 every year. And then finally the Phase 2 committee will be the ones that select the films that become the official nominees. And there's 5 nominees in the category, just like with almost all the other categories. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to read through the list of films and their countries, and then I'm going to talk about some of the most notable entries. I obviously can't talk about every single one because there's 87 of them, and a lot of them are films I have no idea what they're even about, but several of them have made waves at film festivals and things like that over the past year, so I'll get into some more detail about some of those based on buzz that I've heard. But anyway, these are the 87 contenders for Best Foreign Language Film for the 91st Academy Awards. Rona Azim's Mother, Afghanistan. Until the End of Time, Algeria. The Angel, Argentina. Spitak, Armenia. Jirga, Australia. The Waldheim Waltz, Austria. No Bed of Roses, Bangladesh. Crystal Swan, Belarus. Girl, Belgium. The Goalkeeper, Bolivia. Never Leave Me, Bosnia and Herzegovina. The Great Mystical Circus, Brazil. Omnipresent, Bulgaria. Graves Without a Name, Cambodia. Family First, Canada. And Suddenly the Dawn, Chile. Hidden Man, China. Birds of Passage, Colombia. Medea, Costa Rica. The Eighth Commissioner, Croatia. Winter Flies, Czech Republic. The Guilty, Denmark. Cocote, Dominican Republic. A Son of Man, Ecuador. Yomadine, Egypt. Take It or Leave It, Estonia. Euthanizer, Finland. Memoir of War, France. Name, Georgia. Never Look Away, Germany. Polyzeni, Greece. Operation Red Sea, Hong Kong. Sunset, Hungary. Woman at War, Iceland. Village Rock Stars, India. Marlena the Murderer in 4 Acts, Indonesia. No Date, No Signature, Iran. The Journey, Iraq. The Cake Maker, Israel. Dogman, Italy. Shoplifters, Japan. Aika, Kazakhstan. Supamoto, Kenya. The Marriage, Kosovo. To Be Continued, Latvia. Capernaum, Lebanon. Wonderful Losers, A Different World, Lithuania. Gotland, Luxembourg. Secret Ingredient, Macedonia. The Road to Sunrise, Malawi. Roma, Mexico. Iskra, Montenegro. Burnout, Morocco. Panchayat, Nepal. The Resistance Banker, Netherlands. Yellow is Forbidden, New Zealand. The Wedding Ring, Niger. What Will People Say, Norway. Cake, Pakistan. Ghost Hunting, Palestine. Reuben Blades Is Not My Name, Panama. The Heiresses, Paraguay. Eternity, Peru. Signal Rock, Philippines. Cold War, Poland. Pilgrimage, Portugal. I Do Not Care If We Go Down in History as Barbarians, Romania. Sobibor, Russia. Offenders, Serbia. Buffalo Boys, Singapore. The Interpreter, Slovakia. Ivan, Slovenia. Sew the Winter to My Skin, South Africa. Burning, South Korea. Champions, Spain. Border, Sweden. El Dorado, Switzerland. The Great Buddha Plus, Taiwan. Malilla the Farewell Flower, Thailand. Beauty and the Dogs, Tunisia. The Wild Pear Tree, Turkey. Donbass, Ukraine. I Am Not a Witch, United Kingdom. 12-Year Night, Uruguay. The Family, Venezuela. The Tailor, Vietnam. 10 Days Before the Wedding, Yemen. Alright, and those are the 87 contenders. And some of the nations that are competing for the very first time include Malawi and Niger. So congratulations to them. Now, some of the most notable entries that have been gaining buzz, probably the first and most obvious is Mexico's entry, Roma. This is Alfonso Cuarón's newest film. It's his first film in 5 years since Gravity back in 2013. And from what I've heard and seen of Roma, it is going to be as different from Gravity as possible. This one is not a big sci-fi blockbuster. It's an intimate drama filmed in black and white with an entirely Mexican cast, and of course it's spoken primarily in Spanish, because of course it would need to be to qualify for this category, because if a film has too much English, then it's ineligible. But it won the top prize at the Venice Film Festival. It's been getting all sorts of rave reviews from those who've seen it at various film festivals, and it's considered so good that it may be one of the top potential contenders to win not only Best Foreign Language Film, but also Best Picture at the Oscars. And if it should win Best Picture at the Oscars, It would be the very first foreign language film to ever do so. A couple of films have been nominated in the past, for everything from The Grand Illusion to Life is Beautiful, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, Amour. Those are a few of the notable foreign language films that have gotten Best Picture nominations, but none of them have ever won. So it will probably at least win Best Foreign Language Film if it gets nominated, that is, or even makes the shortlist, because last year 2 films that everyone thought would make the shortlist did not. That would be First They Killed My Father, the Angelina Jolie film, that was the Cambodian entry, and BPM Beats Per Minute, which was the French entry. Those were considered to be the top 2 contenders, but neither of them made the shortlist, so who knows what will happen, but hopefully Roma will stick in there. Another contender getting a lot of buzz is Cold War from Poland. The director Paweł Pawlikowski, he won this category a few years ago for his film Ida, and Cold War, from what I recall, of the plot description, it's set shortly after World War II and involves like a forbidden love affair, and there's quite a lot of documentaries in this year's contenders, from what because I've been reading the reports about some of these films when they've been announced. The Waldheim Waltz is a documentary about former Austrian president and former UN Secretary General Kurt Waldheim and his Nazi past being exposed. Graves Without a Name, I believe, is a documentary that's, I believe, a follow-up to The Missing Picture, which was nominated a few years ago, and it's about the Khmer Rouge genocide in Cambodia. Hungary's submission Sunset, that's directed by the same director who directed Son of Saul, which won this category 2 years ago. The director's name is Laszlo Nemes, and like Son of Saul, Sunset is a period drama, although I believe this is set in the very early 1900s rather than during the Holocaust like Son of Saul did. And it's, from what I heard, a very different film from Son of Saul in terms of plot, for obvious reasons. But I haven't seen it myself, so I can't say. But what could be a very big contender is Shoplifters. Shoplifters won the Palme d'Or at the Cannes Film Festival earlier this year. And a lot of these films, whether they win the Palme d'Or or not, often make a big splash at the Cannes Film Festival, like Son of Saul, for instance. Even though that did not win the Palme d'Or, it got a lot of critical raves at Cannes, and that certainly helped it gain a lot of traction in the months afterward. And the same could probably be said for Shoplifters as well. And given the fact that it won the Palme d'Or, you can bet that they're going to put that in the trailer when they start showcasing it in theaters here in the United States. Capernaum I've heard interesting things about, and it has an interesting premise from what I read. I believe it's about a young boy who decides to sue his parents for the fact that he's grown up in poverty his whole life, which is kind of an interesting concept, and it'd be interesting to see how that would play out in a film. Wonderful Losers, A Different World. It's a pretty interesting name for a film, to say the least, but that is another documentary, and I believe it's about bicycle racing. It's not about the Tour de France, but it's about another European bicycle race. I think it takes place in Italy. I forget, because it was a while ago when I first read about it. The Resistance Banker from the Netherlands, I believe that's a Holocaust drama. And there's 2 more Holocaust dramas in here, actually. I Do Not Care If We Go Down in History as Barbarians, the Romanian entry, that's a Holocaust drama. The Russian entry, Sobibor, that's a Holocaust drama, and the title itself for that film comes from an actual Nazi concentration camp called Sobibor, and I guess it's about a real-life uprising of Soviet prisoners of war. Burning from South Korea, that gained a lot of buzz at the Cannes Film Festival, and it actually features a pretty popular actor in that movie. It features Stephen Yeun from The Walking Dead, from what I've heard. And El Dorado, that's another documentary that's been listed here. It's a documentary about the current European immigration situation of people from the Middle East coming into Europe. The Great Buddha Plus. When I saw that title, I was like, what on earth is the plus for? Is that a typo? Apparently not. Apparently the plus is symbolizing the fact that this is a full-length feature film. Because apparently the director made a short film called The Great Buddha, and then when he got the money to make a full-length feature film, he decided to add the plus on to indicate that there was going to be more than what the short film had. And then The Wild Pear Tree, that was another Cannes Film Festival contender. And the director, Nuri Bilge Ceylan, if that's how you say his name, he won at the Cannes Film Festival a couple of years ago for a film called Winter Sleep, but that didn't get any Oscar nominations. And then I Am Not a Witch from the United Kingdom, that's the last one I'm familiar with. That actually got a BAFTA nomination earlier this year, I believe in the Outstanding Debut for a British Writer, Director, or Producer category. And I've heard a lot of great things about it. From what I heard, it's about a little girl who gets accused of witchcraft and the fallout that comes from that. That's all that I'm familiar with at this point. We don't know what the Foreign Language Film Committee is going to select to be the semi-finalists because, as evidenced by last year, the films that seem like the ideal favorites don't always make the final cut. So we could end up with all the contenders that I mentioned and specifically highlighted, or contenders that haven't gotten any attention but ultimately stand out, at least in their eyes. So in December we'll finally find out what those contenders are, and when the time comes for that, I will definitely make a video where I will highlight those contenders as well as more of what they're about in terms of plot and everything like that. So that's all I really have to say for this, but let me know in the comment section below what you think of these contenders for Best Foreign Language Film. If you happen to have seen any of them, please let me know what you thought of them and whether or not you think they're a good entry for that country that submitted them. And also, please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell if you want to get all my new videos as soon as they're uploaded. And I will see you guys next time. Bye!